Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gridiron Gilly. I am the host of the Gridiron Gilly Show, and this show is for anybody who's ever worn pads or worn a thermite watching college football. You don't have to play the game, you just have to love the game, and I hope that's why you're here. In this episode, I'm going to break down a few games for Week 13 college football. We're near the end of the season. I'm going to do it real quickly, too, because I don't want to talk too long. The first game I'm going to talk about, Missouri at number 11 Oklahoma. Spread is Oklahoma minus 9.5. The total's 42.5. Money lines OU minus 345. Missouri plus 275. Missouri's coming into this one 7-3 record. Oklahoma's 8-2. It's 11 a.m. kickoff on Saturday morning. Here's the dealio. Missouri's offense. They're the number 6 rushing offense in the country. Defensively, they're pretty sound all the way across the board. They're 10th in yards per game, 15th in pass, 17th in rush, and 25th in points. Oklahoma, what do they do well offensively? Not much. But defensively, they're 4th against the run. They're 11th in points. They're 37th against the pass. So both these teams are very, very good defensively. And the Missouri's got a good run game. OU, they're starting to establish the run game there. Blaylock, he's been moving the ball well. And they've just been playing good, fundamentally sound football there in Norman. I've got written down on this little sheet of paper here all the stats, all the playmakers, the difference makers. I don't need to go into all that. I'll tell you this. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, a defensive game. It's going to come down to least penalized team and turnovers. Okay, you know that Missouri's quarterback is out for the year. So they got this other cat, Matt Zollers, in there. And this OU defense, man, they're insane. They have a really, really, really good defense. I'm really impressed with them. If they would have had this defense whenever they were in the Big 12, they'd have been in the national championship several times probably. But anyways, I digress. Oklahoma's kicker, his name's Tate Sandell. He's 95% with field goal percentage. He's got a long of 55. That matters because field goals are going to matter in this game. You got a low-scoring game, a close game. What I suspect, and I just think Oklahoma's going to win this one. I have written down a whole bunch of stuff. I'll run through it real quick. Oklahoma leads the series all time. That don't matter. Missouri's 0-3 this year versus ranked opponents. That kind of does matter. Both teams tied 13th on third down defense. Oklahoma's first in red zone offense. Missouri, like I said, they're 6th ranked rushing offense versus OU's 4th ranked run defense. That's going to be the game there because, like I said, Missouri's number 6 offensively in the run game. Oklahoma is 4th defensively in the run game. We know Ahmad Hardy's a good running back. We know he's a grinder. He's going to get them totes. He's going to get them carries, and he's going to get some yards. But what if he doesn't? What if this Oklahoma defense is as good on the field as they are on paper, and they shut the run game down? How else can Missouri beat you? I don't think they can offensively, but defensively, they can. And Oklahoma's offense, like I said, they're a little stagnant at times, but they score and sustain drives, so to speak, and they're not heavily penalized. So on paper, like honestly, I think Missouri's the better team because of their defense and their 6th ranked rushing offense. But I just think the edge goes to Oklahoma here. It's at home. Oklahoma's fighting for their playoff lives, being 8-2 and having 2 conference losses already. I just don't see Oklahoma dropping this one. I have written down right here. OU's going to win this one. My score prediction is Oklahoma 31-10, which would be Oklahoma covering. But yeah, that's my score prediction. Oklahoma 31-10. That's not really as low scoring as you would think, but I feel like Missouri's going to have some turnovers there on the offensive side of the ball, which is going to create or generate more points for Oklahoma. Next game, number 20 Louisville at SMU. Spread is SMU minus 3, total is 52.5. SMU minus 155. Louisville plus 130. 11 a.m. kickoff again. Louisville 7-3. SMU 7-3. SMU is going to win this game. SMU is going to win the ACC. I'm still standing on that. I don't know where they are right now in the ACC contention. I know there's Georgia Tech and there's Louisville. Or not Louisville, Georgia Tech and Virginia. But I just think SMU is a better team. They got 3 losses, but only one of those is a conference loss, and I think that matters. Let's take a gander here. SMU is second in red zone defense. That's a worthy stat there. Louisville's offense, the best thing they do is throwing the football. They're 54th. Defensively, they're all right. They're 26th in the pass, 23rd against the run. And then SMU's offense, they're 18th in the pass, and they're 14th against the run on defense. So SMU, this is what I like about SMU, is their pass defense is 135th. So their pass defense is among the worst in college football. But their rush defense is among the best in college football. And you say, how are they beating these teams if their pass defense isn't that good? Because they can get pressure on the quarterback. And they pressure the quarterback. They have good front 7 guys who can make, like I have written down here. I usually write down playmakers, all these guys who make a difference. And I've got written down 6 players on SMU's defense who make differences. I got Isaiah Smith, a defensive end, safety Isaiah Nakwobia, safety Amon Moses, defensive tackle Webb there, defensive end Cameron Robertson, defensive tackle Jeffrey Mabah. I just wrote down, I said SMU's big play. SMU is going to live off the big play this game. SMU's got that ability to score quickly. Louisville's defense, like I said, they're 26th and 23rd. It's not going to matter Saturday because at the end of the day, like I said, against with Oklahoma, SMU also is fighting for the playoff life. And this is a conference game. This game matters. Louisville's dropped a couple here as of late. I think they dropped this one too. I got SMU winning this game. Pick 37-21. That's my score prediction. I gave my 19-month-old son the pen, and I said, you write down what you think. And he just put a line through Louisville, like a line. So I guess he was telling me that they were going to lose. So SMU money line is what the boy Adrian said. Over here, number 17 USC at number 8 Oregon. Oregon's favored minus 9.5. The total is 59.5. Money line's Oregon minus 360. USC plus 285. 2:30 kickoff. USC's 8-2. Oregon is 9-1. I was very impressed with USC. I've been impressed with them the last few weeks, probably the last month. I've been really impressed with them. And Lincoln Riley over there. USC offensively, they're 10th in the pass. They're 28th rushing the football. Defensively, USC is 63rd against the run, 43rd against the pass. Oregon, offensively, they're 8th in rushing. So here's what I have circled. I have Oregon's rushing offense is 8th. USC's rush defense is 63rd. Advantage Oregon. USC's offense is 10th in the pass. Oregon's defense is 1st against the pass. Advantage Oregon. Where's this game being played at? Oregon. Like I said, I've been really impressed with USC as of late, but Oregon's kind of quietly, everyone kind of wrote them off after that Indiana loss. So they've just quietly been picking up wins. And Oregon, they played Iowa, and the elements were against them, and they still found a way to win there late in a low-scoring defensive game. How do I have this one going? This has the elements to be a high-scoring shootout. You got that total of 59.5. Maybe they're looking somewhere in the 30s both teams score. I'm not sure. I think it'll be a little bit less than that. I would venture to say it'll be an under type game just because these teams do play good defense, especially Oregon. Let's see what I wrote down. I said the third down offense, Oregon is 14th in third down offense. USC is 8th. Red zone defense, Oregon is 132nd. USC's red zone offense is 9th. So that's a really, really, really big deal right there. USC gets down there in the red zone, they're going to score against this defense. And USC's 10th, I already said that, the 10th ranked passing offense versus Oregon's first ranked pass defense. What I think this game comes down to is what Oregon's defense can do against USC's offense. On paper, Oregon has a better defense than what USC has on offense. But I just think Oregon has not. I looked at Oregon's schedule; they're 9-1, but I don't think they've faced an offense of this caliber yet. A quarterback, Jade Mayaba, he's first in QBR. Okay, he's thrown 18 touchdowns, almost 3,000 yards on the year. They've got an established run game with King Miller. I think Jordan is still out, but they got King Miller in the run game who makes a difference there. And you got a few wide receivers there that are going to be in the NFL for probably have lengthy careers in the NFL. Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane. So no, Oregon has not seen an offense of this caliber yet. So they're going to get tested, I feel like. USC fighting for their playoff lives. It's cliche, but when you got 2 losses on the year, you can't afford a third one. Oregon, they can stand to lose this one. They're playing at home. They've already took 1 home loss this year. I don't see it happening. I wrote down, I said, I want to see what this USC pass game can do. Oregon better have a plan for these elite wide receivers. So my son, like I said, I gave him the pen. I said, so what do you think, my 19-month-old baby boy? And then he just scribbled a little bit, but then he finally put a little line right here under Oregon's 8th ranked rushing offense. He put a line there, so I guess he's telling me, Dad, Oregon's run game is going to be the difference in this one. Their ability to move the football and pound the rock and control the clock is going to be the difference here. So because of that, I'm going to take Oregon. I'm not going to take Oregon to cover. I'll take Oregon money line, and I would take USC to cover. I think that's a safe bet. But my boy, my baby boy, my pride and joy, he says Oregon's run game is going to be the difference maker here. Number 22, Pitt at number 16, Georgia Tech. Pitt is 7-3. Georgia Tech's 9-1. Spread is Georgia Tech -3 or 3.5. I forgot. Total 61.5. Georgia Tech -135. Pitt +114. 6 p.m. kickoff. Pitt offensively, they're 14th in the pass. They're defensively, they're 9th against the run. Georgia Tech's offense, rushing, they're 10th. Passing, they're 26th. And then Georgia Tech's defense is atrocious. They are 105th in the pass. So Pitt's passing game is 14th. Georgia Tech's pass defense is 105th. Pitt's about to throw the sun gun for a lot of yards, probably a lot of touchdowns. Georgia Tech's best thing they do is run the football. You got Haynes King back there, and you got Malachi Hosley, Jamal Haynes, 2 running backs back there. That's what they like to do. They can throw the football too, but they like to run the football a variety of ways. Haynes King, he runs the ball a lot. Every game he plays, he runs the ball a lot, runs for a lot of yards, and he puts up a lot of points, throws for a lot of yards as well. He's a really, really, really good quarterback, a dual threat quarterback, and he puts it all out there for his team. Okay, we love us some Haynes King, but I'll just tell you this. I gave my boy the pen. I disagreed with him. I gave my boy the pen, and I said, boy, what do you think is going to happen here? And he circled Georgia Tech at the top. The Georgia Tech -135. He didn't really circle it, but he kind of put his pin there and kept doing like that. So he was telling me Georgia Tech's going to win this game, Dad. But I don't think they will. I think Pitt is going to go on the road. The coach literally last week said he don't care if they lose by 100 in Notre Dame. And they actually played a pretty good game. They didn't get beat by that much. And Notre Dame, I believe, is the top probably 5 team in the country right now. I'm not going off of what their record is. I'm talking about football right now and how it's being played by each team. I think Notre Dame's probably top 5 in the country. when you look at just how these teams operate right now in the month of November. And because of that, because of how Pitt played against them, like I said, I don't think they played too bad. I think this Pitt defense, will they shut Georgia Tech's rushing offense completely down? I don't know, because, like I said, they can still throw the ball. They're 26th passing football. But I just think Pitt's offense, I just think Pitt's offense is going to be the difference here. Their run defense, but then their passing offense. That 14th ranked passing offense, 287 yards a game. That means something against this very, very bottom of the barrel Georgia Tech passing defense. So I have written down Pitt is actually going to win this game 45-38. It's an overtime game. It's a Pitt money line type game, or it's a Pitt +3 game. Whatever you want to work, that's what I would do. I think the safest bet, though, would be the over 61. Number 12, BYU at number 25, Cincinnati. 7 p.m. kickoff. BYU's 9-1, Cincinnati 7-3. BYU -2.5 is the spread. Total 54.5. BYU money line -135. Cincinnati +114. What do these teams do well? BYU's 22nd rushing offense. Cincinnati is the 21st ranked rushing offense. Defensively, BYU is 34th against the pass, 42nd against the run, and Cincinnati is 88th against the pass and 86th against the run. So both teams run the ball exceptionally well. They throw the ball all right, but make no mistake about it. Saturday night, that's what these teams are going to do. They're going to line up and they're going to run the football, and the game's going to be over quickly because both teams are going to run the football, and one team's going to do it better than the other. And that one team that's going to do it better is the Cougars. The BYU Cougs are going to get this one done. My son, that's what he told me. He said he was doing this with the pen, and I moved the pen. I was like, "What are you trying to tell me?" And he just kept putting it back in the same spot. So he said he's pointing at BYU's 22nd ranked rushing offense. He said that's going to be the difference maker here. And I said, okay. So I wrote it down. It says BYU offense gonna pound the rock. Adrian. It's got his old name out beside it because that's what he was trying to tell me. I feel like if he could use words, that's what he would have said. BYU's 13th in third down defense. Cincinnati, they're not even in the picture there, but Cincinnati is, I did see the stat, Cincinnati is a very, very heavily penalized team. And then BYU is 10th in red zone defense. Cincinnati is 14th in red zone defense. Both good red zone defenses. This could be one of those games that's going to be 18-12, a type game. But I don't see it. I said BYU is going to run the ball for however many yards they so choose. LJ Martin is going to surpass 1,000 yards on the ground in this game. And BYU is going to win this game by 20. I actually have written down BYU is going to win this game 40-20. Is that an accurate score prediction? I don't know, but I remember what Utah did to Cincinnati, and I don't think BYU is going to be any different. I think BYU is just going to pound the rock and have their way with them. A couple more games here. Me and Adrian disagreed on this one too. Arkansas at number 10, Texas. Arkansas is 2-8. Texas 7-3. Texas spread -10.5. Totals 56.5. Texas money line is -440. Arkansas +340. It's a 2:30 kickoff on Saturday. What does Arkansas do well? Well, offensively, they're actually pretty good. They're 13th in yards a game, 33rd in the pass, 18th rushing, and 25th in points. Defensively, they're very, very terrible. Worse than Georgia Tech. 123rd yards a game, 108th in pass yards a game, 115th in rush yards a game, and 121st in points a game. Texas offense, they're not too great either. So Arkansas's offense is way better than Texas. But Texas defense, they're 92nd against the pass and 6th against the run. Arkansas's 18th rushing. I don't think Arkansas is going to really run the ball well this game. But Arkansas is 33rd in the pass versus Texas is 92nd in the pass. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Texas is 25th in third down defense. Not much to it. Not any other stats I wrote down other than that. My boy says Arkansas money line. That's what he likes. I was like, "Are you sure?" And he kept putting the pin on Arkansas plus 340. So I said, "Okay." I said, "If that's what you think, you can ride with that, but your dad's not going to take that." Oh, Papa Gill is going to take Texas money line. I wouldn't even take Texas cover. I'd just say Texas money line. That's a safe one. And if Texas had the offense that they've had the last like 6-7 years, they'd probably win this game like 48-13. But they don't. Their offense is abysmal. So for that reason, I'm going to say that they're going to win this game 28-13. But Texas is going to win nonetheless. Washington State at James Madison. Why am I talking about this game? Well, I know James Madison's kind of in the playoff picture, so I wanted to talk about them because I haven't yet all year. The spread is James Madison minus 13.5, total 42.5. James Madison money line minus 535. Washington State plus 400. Washington State is 5-5. James Madison's 9-1. Nothing really impressive about any of these teams other than James Madison's offense is they throw for 215 yards a game and rush for 241 yards a game. And defensively, they only allow 89 rush yards a game, which is very, very good. I wrote down that James Madison is efficient and they play quality defense. Nothing impresses me about Washington State. So this game will probably be over in the first half. James Madison is 7th in rushing offense, and defensively they're 5th in yards per game and 13th in the pass. And let's see what that says. James Madison, yeah, so 89th rushing defense, or James Madison only gives up 89 rush yards a game, which is probably top 5 in the country. And then the passing defense, they're 13th. Okay, so they're really good. I think they cover. I think this is one of those games where you just be risky and you take the James Madison. If it was James Madison minus 19.5, you might not take the cover because I feel like Washington State might get some cheap points there at the end. But I feel like 13.5 is enough for James Madison and what this team really has to offer. Like I said, I haven't seen them play all year, but I just know what I see on paper, and what I see on paper tells me that James Madison is going to win this game outright. I don't have a score prediction. I just have James Madison winning by 13.5. And my son is actually the one who gave me that idea because he was telling me, he just kept saying, he kept doing that where it says JMU minus 13.5. He kept putting the pin right there and tapping it. He was trying to say, "Dad, take that." So that's what I'm doing. Me and Adrian agree on this one. We're going to say James Madison win this one by 14. And the last game I got Hawaii at UNLV. This is a Friday night game. Friday night. It's at 9:30 Central Time. UNLV is favored minus 3. The total 64.5. UNLV minus 148. Hawaii plus 124. Hawaii 7-3. UNLV is 8-2. This one's going to be interesting because I don't know anything about Hawaii other than what I have written down here, and I did all this today. However, UNLV, I know a little bit about them. I know who their head coach is. I know what they have offensively. Let me break it down for you real quick, in case you don't know. Hawaii's offense is 9th in the country in passing yards a game, 302. And then defensively, they're middle of the pack. They're 62nd against the pass, 47th against the run. What does UNLV do well? Well, they run the ball well. They run for over 200 yards a game. They're 20th in the country. And then defensively, UNLV is right there with Arkansas and Georgia Tech. They are 130th in yards a game, 121st in pass, 117th in rush, and 31 points a game, 114th. Hawaii, better defense, and then UNLV on paper has a better offense. I think this one just comes down to the abysmal defense that UNLV has I think this 9th-ranked passing offense matters. Now, Hawaii's run game is ranked 125th, so that's not good. But I just think that Hawaii is going to win this game. Will it be over 64.5 points? I feel like it will. Will it be how close will it be? I don't know. I don't think Hawaii is just going to beat them by 10, but I don't know. It confuses me. I'm going to take Hawaii money line though. A safer bet would be Hawaii +3, maybe. I don't know, but Hawaii money line is what I like. I have written down here Hawaii's 24th and third down offense. UNLV is 99th in red zone defense. Hawaii's third in red zone offense. So Hawaii's going to get down there and they're going to score. And Hawaii plays, like I said, pretty good defense against this UNLV offense. UNLV is going to run the football. Like I said, on paper, UNLV is better offensively than what Hawaii is. So I think UNLV is going to score the points too. But I think where it matters is if you're in a game like that where scoring points matters and you have to outscore the other team, I think UNLV's defense is not prepared for this. UNLV is 8-2, Arkansas is 2-8, and they're in the same boat. Good offense, abysmal defense. UNLV's played if UNLV played the schedule Arkansas played, they probably would not be 8-2. They'd probably be 2-8. So probably about on the same level. I'm gonna take a Hawaii money line on this one, and that's all there is. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna talk about. Yeah, I covered all I wanted to cover. Gridiron Gilly did. That's all I gotta say. And that's the bottom line because my boy Steve said so. Let me get a swig of water for the working man. Then I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna watch